There is no such thing as someone being able to hide their emotions or hide their energy from the people you're around. No matter what, our energy will be felt by the people around us. And so it's in our best interest to feel and express that so that it doesn't just stay as this heavy darkness, this baggage within us. It's actually infringing on the experience of everyone around you.
You can't solve an emotion. Men think that they can solve an emotion because they're hearing a story, but that's not even why she's bringing that to you. Women just want you to hear it. They want you to hear it. Like how women express their emotions fully to men is in having this beautiful masculine container of I've got you, I'm looking at you, I'm fully with you. And then the flow in water within the container is able to swirl like ocean waves until it settles. If he just turned around and gave full presence for 5 minutes, that conversation would last a half or fraction of the time.
What they really want is presence, because presence is spelled L-O-V-E.
Bumper sticker.
Presence is spelled L-O-V-E.
Let's go.
I love it.
Welcome back to Listen Before Love. We are back again on the beautiful couches. Super excited to talk about, oh my gosh, we went into this a little bit last episode, but we want to go even deeper. Reading emotional signals, reading body language, reading the energy in a space, the thing that even though someone might be saying, I'm fine, they're definitely not fine. And how do we tell? We notice it, but what do we do? And I'm really excited to bring this conversation to life today because Mr. Camarito is by far, of all of the humans I've met in my life, and you guys know I host weekly events. I am a huge community builder. I have easily met, maybe 30,000 people.
Probably.
Plus, especially at my events. And I have never come across a human being on this planet better at saying, yeah, give him that face. You deserve it. Get that sauce in there. I've never come across a human being who is better at this, who is not only able to read the energy of a space, but to say what everybody is feeling, to bring a conversation to the table that most people avoid like the freaking plague. You go right in there, you say the thing, you're not able to avoid it. You don't create creepy, lingering energy of things left unsaid. And I truly believe that if everybody could not only experience how you do this, but be brought into this way of living where anytime you feel subtle tension, anytime you notice that somebody is totally turned completely off in their energy, that you say something, the world would be a completely different place. So I want to bring people into a little bit of the magic today because it's almost like we're interviewing an expert at this.
Wow.
It honestly, I take away the word almost.
The glaze is crazy today.
Baby.
I'm loving it.
Okay.
Go on.
Krispy Kreme, fresh set of 12 donuts on this glaze.
Wow.
Okay.
Hyping me up.
Because you deserve it. I mean,
Wow.
when I say this, you know you're good at this.
Yeah, I'd say so. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have so much to be grateful for when it comes to my just God-given gift of being neurodivergent. That has caused me to, have a little bit of that sauce that makes you like hyper fixated on how people are and their human nature.
His special interest is having uncomfortable conversations. Honestly,
man.
we do joke that he loves them.
Yeah, it's kind of sick.
It's a little sick.
Like,
it's a little sick.
I see everything. Like, I really feel like we're here to help revolutionize human connection.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't just something we were able to pick one day. Like, oh, all the things we can do with our life. Let's do that. No. It was a calling within ever since I was a young kid. I feel like with my family, with my friends, there's always been this ability to just sense how they are feeling. And then whatever they're feeling, because that I can then react to it in a way that serves their highest good.
Right.
And so this is pretty much just studying human nature, not from a textbook, but from real life experience every day. And then as my life progressed, as I, growing up a lot of sports teams, of course, classmates, just friends, family. Now, we have employees, all that. Like I'm very attuned to how people are feeling. Of course, with you, it's been honestly incredible to have this skill that I've cultivated my entire life, because it is the one thing that keeps people feeling happy. It's the one thing that keeps them feeling seen, heard, loved, and feeling enough in all moments. And if I can do that as a human being, as a partner to you,
Aww.
as a employer, as a son, as a future father, whatever it is, I think it's a recipe for success. It all just pretty much comes down to just, I love human nature. That's what I'm here for. That's my thing. And so thankfully in the past, imagine how great of a skill that can be for, when I used to be in sales.
Yeah.
That was everything. Like if I had that down, if I knew how they were feeling in the moment, it'd be very easy for me to convince them to do what's best for themselves. And so that thankfully has been a skill that's definitely stayed with me forever. And now that we are in the arena of revolutionizing human connection, and in particular for this podcast, when it comes to love, I'm very grateful to be in a position to where I just have this kind of gift, this skill, this talent, I don't know what it is, neurodivergence, a little autism, who knows, that makes me hyperfixated on this. And it's really, really served us well. But like you were mentioning, it gets to the point where even like firing people in some weird way, even though it's a very hard interaction to have for most people, and it is still for me to some extent, it feels like a learning experiment.
Yeah.
It feels like, how can I pick up on their cues? How can I do so in the most loving, respectful way? It's kind of sick if you think about it.
Yeah.
but it is, it's serving, thankfully, the mission very, very well. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. It definitely is. Like, you guys don't even understand how much stress has lifted off of my being and my shoulders, that he loves having like incredibly uncomfortable conversations as much as he does, because he just gets in there and does the thing, and then we talk about it, and then the Mars rovers come together and exchange information as God intended.
Yeah.
But I wanted to dive into this a little bit, because I know that you and I have this as well, but I'm going to be the first to put myself on blast. I sense a lot, but I don't always speak it. That's something that I will completely own. I know that I do this. I've been working on closing this gap between noticing and saying something for like my entire conscious life. And I feel like a lot of people listening to this might see themselves more in me, because there are a few people on earth who I think are as good at this as you are, and who have like no tolerance for indirectness. And that's really what it is that I think everyone on earth has this ability. And I want to empower everyone to like, let's see ourselves as people who can be really freaking good at reading cues, at knowing body language, and also having the courage to say something when we notice something. That is what we're not doing. Anybody who's listening to this right now, be like, oh my God, you know what? I actually notice so much, and I'm so observant, and I know when somebody's energy shuts off, and I know when they like look down when we're talking. I know when they randomly drop their sentence because someone said something that upset them. Like, I notice all of these things, right? But do you act on it? That is what we want to empower you to challenge yourself on, because if you can step into this role of not only observing, but speaking what you're seeing, it is not going to be scary for you. This is how boundaries become easier. This is how we create relationships that feel juicy, healthy, and alive. This is how we create heaven on earth, is all of the observant people who are listening to this show right now and seeing themselves in me saying, you know what, I see it, but I don't always say it. Let's take this moment right here, right now. That's an inside joke. To step into a new character. Because we can, because you can. I've been practicing this. Let me tell you, so much more of a juicy, free, I don't have this mental debt of all these things I didn't say. Oh, life feels like a dream come true if you practice this. So what we're going to do in this episode, just to empower you and bring you into these situations, is I'm going to intuitively come up with situations. And Cam is going to tell me exactly what he's noticing and what he would do about it. We want this to be tactical. We want this to be a role play situation, because I just would have really loved for you all to experience how Cam does this, because what you'll notice, and we can analyze all of it, Cam does it in such a light way that it doesn't feel like an attack. It doesn't feel heavy. And it doesn't feel like he is almost inserting himself on you or his perspective on you. He's just lightly sharing what he's seeing and questioning and opening up like, is this true? Like, am I seeing this clearly? Or like, how are you feeling? And it feels very collaborative. And that's the way to do this. We often think, oh my gosh, I see something. And if I say something, they're going to be upset. I'm going to hurt their feelings. I'm going to make them spiral into depression. I'm going to make the situation worse. But what if it's not that heavy? What if it doesn't have to be that deep? What if you can just bring something with a lightness in your tone and a caring nature that makes someone say, oh, that's interesting. What made you say that? And now we're getting somewhere. And somebody went from being a closed door to a little crack in the door to now opening as they can sense that you really care. So let's go for it.
I can't wait. Let's do it.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to walk through is, let's say we are in a relationship. We are. Okay. Easy enough. And I have moments in our relationship sometimes where something upsets me and then I shut down. So what happens in a lot of the times is like, I will see something online or somebody will send me a message or I'll get a tag in something. So recently it's been that people keep tagging me in events that are like incredibly similar, kind of inspired by the walks that I host. And it makes me a little angry. And because I don't like bringing my emotions to Cam, I will like bottle them down to just like self-soothe and figure them out myself. But the thing is, he can tell. So he can tell that there's something I am not saying. Okay. So we're going to bring you into that situation. Let's say we're in the kitchen. I just saw something on my phone and I'm just like, and you can tell I just, you know
Oh, I know.
So I'm just going to
see it once a week. I know. I know.
Okay.
That face goes stone cold.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, let's bring them into it. Like, narrate what you're noticing.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing in my body when this is happening? Like, narrate what you're seeing.
Okay. First off, before we even go down this rabbit hole, because this is very, very needed,
mm-hmm.
It's different if the person who is now observing someone they love switch their being pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
It takes a level of self-awareness to realize, first off, okay, was me being in proximity to them, is there anything I did that potentially triggered that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, no, I just do my normal thing and I didn't say anything that would ever, okay. Then it's probably her and something else external of us. Because if it's within our dynamic, if it's something I said or you said or whatever it may be, that's a very different type of approach that we can probably go into in a different episode. But
I'll
for
get
this
that
one
next.
Sure.
That'll be next up.
For this one, oh, perfect. This one's definitely external, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you went from, not saying you have to always be like this joyful mood that you always oftentimes are in, but you can tell with everyone a change in behavior. And you said one thing earlier I really want to touch on. You said, I don't like sharing my emotions in front of Cam.
Mm-hmm.
Let me break down that fallacy right now. There is no such thing as someone being able to hide their emotions or hide their energy, because emotions are just energy and motion. There's no such thing as being able to hide your energy from the people you're around. You feel it anyways. You feel it all the time. And this is something I think men deeply struggle with because they go through oftentimes an immense amount throughout their day to just pay the bills, whether they're extremely hardworking or a lot of stress, whatever it may be. And they come home believing that they just left it all at the door. But that oftentimes never happens. And it manifests in them being absent in the conversation at the dinner table, or it manifests in them quickly wanting to grab a coping mechanism and just scroll on their phone when they can be present with their kids, or start drinking or overeating, all those other things. So this is something that isn't new to human nature. It's something that's been going on for a very long time. And no matter what, our energy will be felt by the people around us. And so it's in our best interest to, as soon as we can, in the most healthy way possible, feel and express that so that we can release it, so that it doesn't just stay as this heavy darkness, this baggage within us that for most people, they go years and years of that darkness compounding on a day-to-day basis in these incremental forms to a level which they're severely depressed, they're anxious, their marriage is falling apart, their relationship with kids are falling apart. It's because of that. It's the incremental things that happen over time that they don't look at, and they believe that it isn't causing any problem in their current world when it actually is. It's actually infringing on the experience of everyone around you. So that's something very important to keep in mind. And so that's just part of human nature, though, right? We have this thing that we've been told as if it's not okay for Elle to just be angry or sad, especially for no reason. Like, that's completely okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to have a sad day or a sad week or a sad month, that's completely okay. There's something in society that made me think I must be a certain way to be in front of her, and for her to be a certain way to be in front of me, right?
Yeah.
So that's the foundation. We need to have that understanding before we go into the situation.
Yeah.
But when we're in the situation and I see this subtle shift in your energy, let's say I'm making breakfast for us or myself, whatever it is, and I see, you're joyful, la, 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 and then all of a sudden you go like...
That's exactly how it goes.
It's so funny because even when I have my back turned to you and I'm 10, 15 feet away, I can feel it. Because energy never lies, and we can all feel energy, right?
Right.
So this happens to everyone on a nearly daily basis. And as someone who is, future husband and who is probably the number one person in your life by far, and you are for me, there's a certain level of us being able and willing to have this conversation that may not be necessary for others, right? If you notice this in a coworker of yours, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be like, hey, let's set aside work and let's talk about why you're sad right now. That doesn't have to happen. You can both go upon your day, and they can do their best to work as they're sad, and you can do your best to work as you see they're sad, or whatever it may be. But if you're in a relationship and you feel like it just feels right to ask why, because sometimes we both go through emotions and we don't feel like we have to open up that can of worms. But oftentimes recently, because we've just been in this hyper growth mode, and because of that hyper growth mode, we've been faced with a lot of things that are confronting and we've been avoiding for so long in our lives that are necessary to face and overcome to get to where we want to go. One being how we feel about the walks and making sure that we are doing everything we possibly can to make that grow.
Right.
And anytime someone else can do something similar or just not doing it as well, or, pretty much copy and pasted the copy that we have on our website, whatever it is, which happens often.
Yeah.
There's reasons to feel some type of way about that, right? And so in this situation, what I would do is just in the most calming, loving way, be like, hey, baby, I noticed there's kind of a shift a few minutes ago in your energy. And I'm just saying that because, I'm always attuned to you. I'm always kind of watching you. I'm always observing you. And just want you to know, if you want to talk about it, we can. But we don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Something you did. I just saw something on LinkedIn. Yeah.
So we're going into role play right now. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, if you see that and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, how'd it make you feel?
I just feel frustrated because I feel like this is all happening because I'm not moving fast enough, but I also recognize that like everything's unfolding exactly as it needs to, and that I'm being shown all of these people who are like doing something inspired by me, and I'm being shown them for a reason. I'm being shown them to escalate my own journey and to get me to actually move and take action. So doesn't mean it doesn't make me a little angry though.
Yeah. Oh, don't I know it? Okay.
I'm sorry if you felt that, baby.
Oh, it's completely okay, baby. I want you to know that I want you to be able to feel angry. I don't need you to feel happy for me all the time or joyful. There's plenty of reasons, especially around the walks right now, that would deem for you to be sad or angry. It's completely okay. Is there any way that I could help you feel that more?
This is probably where I would say, like, I would try to just tell you what happened.
Yeah, and this is where.
Yeah. So a lot of the time.
We'll cut the role play right there.
Exactly.
So let me just kind of go in on exactly what just happened there. I said something, and I think I've talked about this in previous podcasts, but if some relationship made this shift to where they notice an energy shift in their partner and they go to them and say, how can I help you feel that more? As opposed to everything we've always been conditioned to say of, what can I do to cheer you up? Those are very different things. What can I do to save you from this sadness? Because this sadness is not okay. That's what we've actually been taught. But if we really think about it, that just feels kind of wrong. So in this situation, my intention is to make sure that Elle has everything she possibly wants and needs to feel what she's feeling, that anger, that sadness, that disappointment, the shame, the fear, whatever it may be. I want her to feel that more. Because fully feeling it is the way through it.
Right.
And so naturally, when I set things up to that way, I didn't be like, oh, what happened? Oh my God, what?
Right.
I don't want to add on to it. And she's like, yeah, this person didn't, we don't got to go down that.
He never does that. This is actually key, because I don't know if you'd be able to see this as clearly as I do. So I think this is a big lesson for me, because I'm very emotionally based, and I can generate a lot of emotion on something. So a lot of the time when someone brings something to me, I'm in it with them, and I'm like, oh my God, what? I can't believe that. What happened? And I've had to retrain my own response to be more neutral. This is really hard to do, and he does it very well. So what you'll notice is, because I'm kind of an emotional, dramatic person, I honestly love it though. I feel like it's a great trait. You can't take the good without the bad. Sometimes I'm going to be like a telenovela when I'm telling my stories, and it just is what it is.
No, not sometimes. Every time you tell a story, you think she's giving a TED Talk.
I don't mean it to be that way, but
and I love it.
But he's spent enough time around me to where people, I think they meet me and they're like, wait, WTF was that? Tornado in pants woman? But you get that I'm just like that. I am like that when we're in the car. I'm like that when we walk around. I'm like this 24/7.
And sometimes
God bless
I'm
you. God bless you.
In my head, I'm like, baby, we're in the middle of a business meeting. They don't need to know the finite details of what happened in the story. But I know how you're a journalist, you're a writer. You have to tell the whole, it's very all-encompassing, all the details. And everyone there is mesmerized. They're all jaw up.
Yeah, and then 2 hours go by, and
I'm
it's wait,
we gotta,
what were we just talking about?
We gotta go over the financials. What do we...
Yeah, I know. It's really, it's a gift.
It's a blessing.
That's why
it's a gift. It's a blessing.
I say
I'm not
it
taking
my
that
way.
away.
However, but what happens here, and I think if you're like me and you resonate with my energy, and I think a lot of women are like this as well, we want to talk about what happened, and we want to share, not vent, because I wouldn't say that I'm venting, but I want to share the experience and get his take. I want him to look at what I experienced and be like you're being reasonable or unreasonable, because I trust his judgment. So when I tell him things, it's actually not to just off gas and vent at him. It's more so here's the whole story. What is your analysis?
And that's important, because every time, kind of backtracking to the role play we just did,
right?
I just make sure you know that I'm here for you to feel.
Right.
The last thing I want to do is go and solve the problem. Even though as a man, everything she brings to me, immediately I'm like, do this, and we don't have to ever talk about this again. It'll be settled forever. Women don't act that way. It's completely okay. It's the difference between the masculine and feminine. There is the flow. There is all that is. There is the space that makes up the feminine. Then there is the order that makes up the masculine. And we all have both parts of us, and women, well, it's a little bit different nowadays because, culture, but a lot more women are in flow, a lot more men are in order. When I am coming to a woman in this situation, it is in my best interest to give her the safety and reassurance that I want that flow to keep flowing.
Because he's the container.
I'm not here to be like, oh, this flow, it's actually chaos, and I need us to organize it this way. So you just explain what happened on LinkedIn. Number one, you shouldn't care about that. Number two, you should have fuck. No.
Right.
Fuck. That's one thing men always get wrong. They're trying to use their logic to, and that just doesn't work. We're playing apples and oranges here. It's two different.
Because you can't solve an emotion.
Exactly.
And that's where I think like men think that they can solve an emotion because they're hearing a story. So let's say I go and tell Cam the story about LinkedIn and they're hearing it through the frame of logic and thinking, like you said, well, don't do this. Okay, solved. But that's not even why she's bringing that to you. And this is actually key to talk about because you ask me, you know, how can I be there for you? And how can we feel this more? And I caught myself, I could have played along with you and been like, okay, let's go on a walk, which I think I have done in the past. But sometimes when my like dramatic emotional self comes out, I know my higher self knows you want me to just feel the emotion, but like my dramatic self wants to tell the story. Mm-hmm. I want to tell a story and I want you to hear it. Mm-hmm. And that's important. Women just want you to hear it. They want you to hear it. They want you to be present with it. And now this is within reason. A lot of the time, this isn't going to last like an hour or 30 minutes. This is going to be like you're holding space and you're so present for this story that it just kind of dissolves. Like how women express their emotions fully to men is in having this beautiful masculine container of I've got you, I'm looking at you, I'm fully with you. And then the flow in water within the container is able to swirl like ocean waves until it settles. And that's what happens. If you watch us do this, that's literally what happens because he doesn't feed into my emotion. He does not.
Yes, 100%.
He just
because
stays.
Emotions are completely valid, and also they're not us. They're not our entire being.
It's energy.
And so, oftentimes, and this happens just watching human behavior, women, when they hear other women tell stories about their life, they're quick to add on to that and bring their emotions. Oh, how could she? Oh my, all these other things. And it stirs it up. Mm-hmm. And what it does is actually make something that's very small into something very big and causes chaos for everyone involved. And I don't want my life to be chaotic. And also, chaos is just victimhood. And so we can spin this whole thing of someone just celebrating the fact that they brought some people together at a walk in their city. We're turning that to like, they're trying to hurt me and my reputation. They're against me. We're going to war.
They're stealing from me.
I'm creating a Finsta and you know, hate.
I've never done that.
I'm not saying we're doing that.
Yeah.
I'm saying I have seen this being done in the realm.
Yeah.
And that is, it's quite sad.
Not a Finsta.
I don't want to play into that same victim game or else that victimhood will continue.
Right.
And also, this is big. Okay. All right. We're getting into it. A lot of female behavior, and men, don't get it wrong, they're both genders here, is to get the attention of the opposite sex, right? So if she realized that when she brings things to me that makes me be more attentive and want to add on to those emotions and more chaos, that pattern will continue.
Right.
It's just like a kid where if they see that you treat them a certain way and you give them, you know, a treat to stop them from crying, you give them more attention if they start acting like a fool in class or whatever it is. It's a reward feedback loop that doesn't actually serve the highest good of everyone involved. We're all still children at heart. We also have these parts of us, and again, I'm saying this for women, but it goes especially for men. You don't want to feed into that in a healthy relationship. You want to feed into the things that are actually aligned with our highest good and that serve us and allow us to fully feel our emotions and who we are to the fullest. Because if we do not do that, that is when we can compound conversations, relationship to be to the point where every single time you are at lunch, dinner with them, you're just talking shit about someone else.
Right.
Or you're talking shit about how terrible your life is. And that is true misery. That's how it gets there.
It's exactly how it gets
It's not
there.
nipping these things in the butt in the beginning. And again, it's completely okay for us to feel this way, but not adding on to the chaos. If we could preemptively understand that and correct our own behavior to not feed into the things we do not want more of, that is how you create a relationship that, I mean, literally, we do not ever fight.
Right.
We have never really fought.
Exactly.
Like ever.
I love you.
And it's because of this. It's because of this.
Yeah.
And so,
and it's really because Cam is so good at receiving emotions. Because he can receive the emotion and he can understand, okay, this isn't mine and I'm not going to make it mine. This is key. Like if you were to just like sit with this for a moment and pay attention to any time you are in a conversation with somebody who might be a little dramatic like me, you know, an animated character, and they're bringing you stories and they're so compelling, but they're somewhat like negative. Like for example, the story I told you, like I was angry, right? But I don't really like talk shit, but I think a lot of the times this happens, it's in talking shit. It's people who will literally go off on like rants for minutes, if not hours, about people they don't like, about, oh my God, can you believe this happened? Can you believe this friend did this? Or like things you see on like TV. It's more of that, I think, it's going on. And then when you're so in it in the moment because the emotions are so alive, but then after the conversation ends, you feel exhausted. Why do you feel exhausted after hanging out with people like that? Because you fed the emotion. You fed the emotion. And what Cam has taught me, and I've gotten so much better at, is just lightly like receiving it, making that person know and making sure that they are fully aware that I care, that I am present, that I am not like half focused. Because this is what we'll do a lot. If somebody starts talking about something that's negative, we'll like half zone out. So if you see it in couples, it's like the guy's like cooking dinner and he's like, oh, wow, really? And then what happened? Oh, right, really? If he just turned around and gave full presence for 5 minutes, that conversation would last a half or fraction of the time.
all women want, you hear this all the time. You hear like, you know, women that leave their very successful man because they're not getting enough time. What they really want is presence.
Right.
They want presence because presence is spelled L-O-V-E,
Your
which is an inside joke.
quote.
That's one thing that I said in a reel once that went like pretty viral, and I'm like, that's what I'm known for.
He was so pissed.
I was actually kind of pissed, but I'm very grateful that it came through in that way.
Presence is spelled L-O-V-E, baby.
Presence is spelled L-O-V-E.
Come on, embrace it. Bumper sticker.
Presence is spelled L-O-V-E.
Let's go.
I love it.
New Instagram bio.
Oh my gosh. We gotta wrap it up anyways.
Okay, well, we're gonna wrap it here. Because we love you so much, and also we have an interview happening. Oh, stay tuned.
Yeah.
So we
On
love
TV.
you guys on TV. We
On
can't
TV.
wait. We're so grateful for you guys. We just wanted to pop on here.
We're gonna continue more on this topic very soon.
We'll
This is
pick
a
it
good
up.
one.
And
This
if
is a
you
good
have specific situations that you would like us to role play on this, I have the next situation will be when I'm actually upset at something he said to me, because that has happened before and the same shutdown happens for me. But if you're listening to this and have any situations you would like us to role play, all you gotta do is make a review of our show. 5 stars on Spotify, 5 stars on Apple Podcast. Write a review, screenshot it, send it to me, Cam, or Listen Before Love on Instagram, and we will include your roleplay in the episode. Thank you for helping us, helping our show grow. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being your beautiful, beautiful self. And let this be your challenge to say what you're seeing, to say the quiet part out loud. We love you. We believe in you. You got this.
Love
See
y'all.
y'all later, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.